Within walls, Attingham Park, spirit of history. Attingham Mansion and Park is a bit of a soap opera set, at least as far as the Hill family, later the Lords Berwick, are concerned. The family made their money through politics, the acquisition of land, a bit of money lending and a bit of mining, and bought the original piece of land here, once owned by Haughmond Abbey in about 1700, buying more and more until there were over 8,000 acres. Now, ironically, the family motto is, "Let wealth be his who knows its use." Ironically, because apart from the first and 8th Lord Berwick, most of the intervening aristocrats were much better at spending money, fathering illegitimate children, and marrying wives who were an even bigger drain on the family fortunes. Noel Hill, the first Baron Berwick, was given the estate upon which he built Attingham Park as a wedding present. He grew rich through the corrupt politics of his day and in 1782 commissioned a Georgian mansion and stables. But his 6 children, 3 boys, 3 girls, were the last children to ever live in the house. After them, the title and the estate passed from brother to brother or uncle to nephew, almost all devoid of legitimate children, and all were much better at spending than making money, with the second Lord Berwick, the eldest son of Noel, marrying a 17-year-old prostitute when he was 41, and the two of them spending so much that it took 2 bankruptcy auctions to pay off their debts. Now, most of the other intervening Lords Berwick lived abroad, sired only illegitimate children or failed to marry, and the house suffered as a result but remained largely unchanged from its Georgian origins. It was Thomas, the 8th Lord Berwick and last of the family, to inherit Attingham, who mortgaged parts of the estate to collect paintings, sculpture and carpets and furnishings for the house. He and his wife Teresa are considered the saviours of Attingham Hall. They spent most of their married life restoring the house and sold 4,000 acres of the estate to pay for it. And of course, it's easy to smile at these aristocratic antics and indulge them, but during that whole 170 years, the house had also been populated by servants. Lots of servants when the Berwick family were in residence, fewer when the house was unoccupied or rented out to tenants, but this massive place couldn't function, and certainly the whole estate, without housemaids, footmen, kitchen maids, scullery maids, gardeners, cooks, and of course the butler. That's without all the outdoor stuff. Now, Attingham tells the downstairs story reasonably well, and it is the lives of these people that chime most with the ordinary visitors. My grandmother was obliged to go into service, as they said, at a young age, after she and her sisters lost their father in the Boer War, and being brought up by an aunt and uncle, themselves working for the local big house. Now, she didn't want to talk about it often, but it certainly wasn't a fun experience being shipped off to London to be a maid of all work in a tradesman's household, or returning to her native Suffolk to be a kitchen maid in the local stately home, knocked down after the Second World War. Her choices as a youngster were for domestic drudgery or the workhouse, and even after the NHS was introduced in her old age, she feared hospital as the route to the workhouse. So learning cooking skills in the heat of a big coal-fired kitchen, or knowing the correct Edwardian way to lay a full table setting for a formal dinner, is small recompense for being a domestic serf at the beck and call of the senior servants, who were in their turn at the beck and call of the gentry they served. At Attingham in 1947, when Thomas died, he left the house to the National Trust. Curiously, they did nothing with the place, initially leasing it to a college for many years, until in the 1990s the Trust began to gradually bring Attingham Hall back to life through a process of careful and painstaking restoration that's still going on. Today it paints a picture of two versions of history, or history seen from two different perspectives. The extravagance and greed of the very rich, who clearly considered themselves superior. The people entitled to the very best because they knew what to do with money. Let wealth be his who knows its use, remember. And then comprehensively proved that never was a motto so undeserved. Then there were the working people who made this wonderful piece of architecture and the Humphrey Repton designed estate surrounding it actually function. The generations who kept the house clean, warm and functional, who answered the summoning bells and bowed and curtsied and kept everybody fed. The workers who managed the deer herds, sowed the crops, milked the cows, grew the vegetables, repaired the buildings, the working people who made possible the comfortable lifestyle and profligate spending of their supposed masters. That Attingham still stands and that the estate supported the Berwicks for as long as it did is a tribute to their skills, hard work and, I don't doubt, loyalty.